Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the All Balls Sports Show, a discussion of any and all sports, local, regional, and national. And now, here are your hosts, Dan Janes, Eddie Bobo, Ty Cobb, and the coach, Vance Ballou.
Thank you, Bill Jones. Welcome into the All the Ball Sports Show for this Wednesday evening. Glad to have you along. And as I promised him I would do, we would bring Coach Sydlowski back for a mid-season update on the 6-1-1 Columbia Lions. Now, you see, you didn't even think I got your message today when you sent that.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, 6-1-1, who did we lose to?
First game of the season. We lost to Summit High School, 5-4. We were trying to feel out a goalkeeper. Right, gentlemen? I think it's been since Luke has moved on to the collegiate level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Luke Wilson, and has done very well for himself there at Lipscomb. It's been tough to find a decent goalkeeper. Am I right, guys?
Yes,
sir. Yeah, but you said you had this amazing freshman that was going to come in. And from what I saw during one practice out there not long ago, it didn't look pretty.
Well,
I'm just saying.
You're right. You're right. I mean, I think we all.
This was a couple of weeks ago.
Right, and I think one of the things that, a goalkeeper is somebody that obviously is playing that sport and in that position for his entire life, especially by the time he becomes a freshman in high school. Wouldn't you agree, boys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. I mean, so what we're doing is. Eric Nieto was the freshman. He came in. He had been playing goalie, some indoor, some outdoor, but really he's a field player. And so we went back to taking Brandon Carrascosa, off the field and put him back in goal. Last year he took over for Josue's brother, who had been injured most of the year. So, I mean, it was one of those things where I'll take the blame because, but in hindsight, I really thought we dominated that game. Mm-hmm. Like I could show you a text message the next day. I'm texting the Summit head coach, and the Summit head coach said, "You guys are going to go a long way," and we got lucky because we pounded. Did we not pound that goalkeeper that night? I mean, it was like we hit the goalpost, we hit the crossbar. He made amazing saves, right? I mean, I'm not giving excuses. I'm just saying,
yeah, you are.
From a coach's, there may be some there. I'm trying to beat around the bush. I'm trying to beat around the bush, right?
No, you're trying to be fair.
I am trying to be fair for the young man. I mean, I didn't really want to pull the freshman, and that's a tough situation for him. He already knew it. I knew it, and I felt that. The way we were pressing Summit, and you could even ask Colton. I mean, neither of us looked at each other and said, "Hey, we need to change goalkeepers." None of my players. A lot of times players may come up and say, "Man, you think we? I mean, we may need." I mean, we didn't think that.
So
way.
You allow them to make that to say that to you?
Well,
because they're seeing something on the field that you're not seeing.
Yeah, I mean, they may say, "Hey, maybe we could put Brandon back in the net." You know what I mean? Sometimes you get that from your players. I don't think any of us really felt that we needed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we all felt that we were going to win that game, regardless of the 5 goals. So I think it was just we would like to have it back. Maybe make our practices a little bit different with Brandon kind of backing us up and then knowing that, hey, you may have to take over. But I had talked to him before the game about, hey, you may go right. You may be back in the net, and he volunteered. After that night, we were leaving, and he said, "I'm ready, coach." So, and he's a great field player. I think he was involved in a goal or an assist that night. I can't remember, but I mean, he really had a good night on the field. Brandon did. Now he's our goalkeeper. But yeah, that's our sole loss. So.
But you got a tie in there too.
Yeah, we got a tie, district tie. I'll let these guys. What did you guys think of Shelbyville game? Alan?
I don't know. It was a weird game. We were trying, and we got the lead on it, and I don't know what happened. I guess we got a little cocky, after that goal a little bit. Not we usually get hyped up, but I don't know. We had the lead, and then was it a few minutes later they scored. Yeah, a few minutes later they scored, and after that we just couldn't get back into that net. I don't know. It was we should have had that game.
We wasn't playing good.
Yeah, we should have had that game.
Very fast-paced game.
Yeah, we wasn't playing good.
I think it was our goalie's mistake, but because he was too scared in the corners, he was too scared to come up to the ball.
Yeah.
Because I know they scored a corner, and it went in.
Well, I think there was, it was a mental error. I honestly can't remember the goal, but one of the biggest things is we struggle on corner kicks. One of the things that we're going to work on tomorrow, they don't know about this now, they're going to know about it, is we're going to take some time.
So you're just springing on them?
Yeah, I'm springing on. Well, it's not a big. Yeah, they know this. We need to score. When we have those opportunities, corners, direct free kicks, indirect kicks, we've got to find a way to put that ball in the net. And for our corners, we just haven't found it, have we? I mean, it's just we've been close.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to work on that a little bit tomorrow.
But let me ask you this from a coach's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You have big ideas going in like you did when you first came on the show, that we're going to have one of the best teams we've ever had, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you come out of the gate with a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden that perfect season is not there anymore.
Right.
Now you've got the monkey off your back.
Right.
Now let's go play some soccer.
Yeah, I mean, you remember hearing yourself say that. You remember hearing Colton and I. We all were saying that. Hey, man, this is a great year. We wanted to go to Summit. We wanted that win.
Mm-hmm.
But when we walked off that field, we knew we were the better team. And in soccer, you can see that all the time at the highest level, right? A team could dominate and lose 1-0. I mean, that's just soccer. I mean, it's a horrible thing to say, but if you were at the game, watching the Summit game, you would go away saying, wow, Columbia Central was the better soccer team.
Right.
Our goalkeepers stood on their head, and they were struggling in that position. So, and that's a tough position to be struggling in,
Sure.
in AAA soccer, to be in the season and not really say we have a goalkeeper. Because Eric was, we put him there. It wasn't like he was like, oh yeah, I know the kid was nervous. I know the kid, it was a tough position for him to be in. But even going away from that game, we had a loss. I think it was a good thing for us to realize, like you said, that the monkey is off our back,
mm-hmm.
and now we can really watch ourselves just go full throttle. And then our second game was a tie. So we really started out, or was it a tie? Yeah, Shelbyville was our next day. Yeah, so we were 0-1-1 to start the season. So what do you think about the Shelbyville game, Adder?
I think we didn't start as good as we usually do on our games. We weren't communicating a lot, and we got a little bit too cocky for that first goal, like we usually do. But I think we could have worked a little bit harder, so we could have got that win in the Shelbyville game.
What made the Shelbyville game so tough?
We wasn't playing good.
It wasn't even tough.
We wasn't playing good.
It wasn't even tough. We didn't play like we needed to. It wasn't even tough. They weren't tough.
Do you realize when you're
yes,
not playing good?
Yes, we realize it in our heads. We have to. Like every time we score, our center backs are always telling us, keep your head. Why? Because we do not need to be cocky. Every time we score, even though we're winning by 3, we still have to act like it's still 0-0. Like we're still fighting to get that number 1 goal. Make sense? So that game.
Yes, sir, I get it. I love. Hey, look, I love it. Okay, I like this. I like this.
This is awesome. It's them, I mean, these boys. This program is special. I'm not going to say it's not. Colton, who is a big part of us as well. I mean, we have a special group.
Yeah.
And
it's a district game. Shelbyville's a district game. They're coming in. It's their first district game. It's our first district game.
Oh, was it played here?
Yes.
Okay.
Right? And last year they came in and beat us 3-1. Right, guys?
Yes.
So they came in and beat us 3-1. And then we walked right through the district, right? And won it. So, like I told them, yeah, we were playing bad, but they were playing at their best. You know what I'm saying? They weren't making mistakes. They were pressing, they were working hard. Now, in that game, if you go back and watch film, there were moments where we dominated. We just didn't find the net. Their keeper had a couple good saves, in the game, which really kept it at a tie. So, and like I said, any district game, we're going to get the best punch. You know what I mean? The best teams, it doesn't matter what sport is being played, they're going to get their best punch. Their football, NFL, the Patriots are going to get everybody's best punch, right? Right now, we're the team to beat in our district. Every team that wants to play us wants to beat us. It doesn't matter,
Right.
So these guys have to understand that and know that, and so we're fortunate to come out with a tie there.
And knowing that, but at the end of the day, at the end of the season, when it comes down to district wins, losses, and ties, where do the ties fit in for all that?
So then, if you're tied, it goes to goal differential, goals scored upon, things like that. You get a point systems for win, you get 3. For tie, you get 1. You get goals up to, I'm trying to remember if it's 3 or 5. You know what I mean? So, it's important. But as we sit right now, we're 2-0-1 in the district, and there isn't. We're sitting pretty. We had to cancel last night due to weather. Out in Franklin County over the weekend, his field was saturated.
Yeah.
So, but we're 2-0-1, and really, for our district and for these guys, these young men, the sky's the limit. Friday night's going to be the key one, right, boys?
Who we playing Friday night?
Oh yeah, you should come.
Yeah.
You gonna be there?
Man, you don't know what kind of schedule I have got for the rest. I'm an old man, okay?
You
Yeah.
gonna like it. You bet.
Yeah.
You gonna know what's up. You gonna know what's up.
You're going to know what's up. He's right, though, but who are we playing, guys?
Ross.
Ross View.
All right.
Yes, sir.
See,
Now, where is Rossview
Okay,
from?
tell him. What city?
Nashville.
Clarksville. Yeah, north.
Okay, we're playing a team we don't know where they're from.
Okay, so
But they don't know who he is too. So
yeah, they do. They lost to Brentwood High School in the quarterfinals of the state tournament last year, 4-0.
Oh, okay.
So they made it to the state tournament. They were top 8 in the state. A lot of the guys on the team know the guys. They've played against them and travel and things like that. So it'll be exciting, won't it? Kind of a test to say, okay, this is kind of a mid-season, post-season test, for our guys. So it's exciting. You guys hyped about that?
yes, sir.
Anything you want to say about Rossview?
For the person who just texted me, I have no idea who you are because there's no name attached to it.
Okay.
But they're asking how good you guys think you are. Personally, from a standpoint, how good do you feel you are right now? Can you be better?
Yes, we could be better.
Yes.
We can always improve. We still have little things we need to improve, but if to answer your question, we'll just let our season talk for itself.
No, hold on. To answer your question, you don't have to come Friday and go see.
I like it.
Don't put pressure on the old
feel
man.
me?
Just don't do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, I spent a lifetime in that press box. Believe me.
yes.
Or you can download Huddle if you want.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Yeah,
No,
there you
Brian,
go.
You gotta come.
Yeah, had to get my son to figure out how I can do that, but that's okay.
I think to answer that question, and I know it's the boys that
Yeah.
did a great job answering. It's going to be up to them. Their training, their focus, how hard they want to play, how hard they want to work on practice days. We had a conversation about that yesterday. I think they bought in. I can't wait till Friday I'm ready to go. I was excited about yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, and by the way, we just came back from a trip there, Dan. Southern Coast Cup down there in Foley, Alabama. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, where is Foley, Alabama?
Okay, so Foley, Alabama is 15 minutes from Gulf Coast there.
Got the medal in the car, coach. You need to go get it.
You want to show them the medal, huh, Waylon? We did bring home some hardware.
Good
So
deal.
I'll let them kind of talk a little bit about the Southern Coast Cup, what you guys thought. Let's start with Waylon. Why don't you go ahead and...
I was very patient the first game. We played a very challenging team, I guess you could say. Not challenging, but it was just the aspect of the weather and the conditions of how we played through the game. It was 2-1. We had 10 minutes left, and the sirens went off, so we had to go to the pavilion.
That's a bad sign. You know that.
Yeah, especially when you got 10 fields and you got everyone on a field trying to go into the pavilion, soaking wet. Yeah, I think it was a great. The second game we came out and won 5-1. Was it not?
I think it's 6-1.
6-1. Yeah. And our third game we won 6-0. Our last two games, I think we played pretty well. It was our first year going up there, so they didn't know our level of how good we were. So we were placed in a lower division. I guess you could say we went down there and showed them what we're made of, and we'll be placed higher next year.
All right. I like that confidence from a senior.
Yeah, I mean it's the truth though. I mean, when you go down to tournaments, and one of the things that I want, I told these boys is that we were going to travel, didn't I? Why did we travel though? Why did we travel during spring break?
To keep the momentum going.
Exactly.
So the momentum doesn't drop.
We'd rather not come back and not play the game all spring break and come back and just get whooped. We want to stay on top of our game, so we're still in the rhythm of how everything goes and stuff like that.
Well, let me ask you this about practice. Are there days when you are practicing? I know coaches there where you're just looking at yourself and you're looking at your teammates and you're saying this just ain't working, man. We got to do something different. Come on, be honest. This is be honest time.
Yeah, we have crappy practices sometimes.
There you go. Okay.
But we're fixing it.
And the new way is way better.
Yeah, the new Sid is
Everything.
it's.
I think it was.
There's a
really
new
good.
Sid.
There's a new Sid. Yes.
Really?
There's a new Sid on the field.
What's the new Sid?
No. Well, I don't think there's a new Sid. I think when you take over a program, right?
Right.
And you just with these boys, there's the aspect of how do I want to put this? The basics of soccer, right? Mm-hmm. Touches, passes. You're not spending your practice focusing on that, right? These kids are game ready. Our varsity kids are game ready. They're competitive. We put together 11v11 today, the last 2 days. 15 minutes of our practice, and it was good competition. They're going after each other, right? Not saying that there's a new Sid. Here's what I told them. I'm in state championship mode. I'm not coming out there to just sit out there and say, hey, we have a good team. They're great. I mean, I'm going to tell you, Dan, I'm just going to be honest with you. As talented as these boys are, you could come out there and throw the soccer balls out there and watch them train. They're good. They focus. They understand the game.
You're giving
They're
me
ready.
way too much credit.
No, I'm not giving them way too much
No,
credit.
you're giving me way too much credit.
I'm not giving
For
you
me
way too
coming
much
out
credit.
there and throwing the balls around.
I know, but here's I know, but you know what I'm saying. It's like this. It's like this, Dan. Right? You've watched football. You've watched football for a long time, right?
Yep.
Let's go back to the 2010 state championships, which I only know a few players on. But let's understand this. Did that team not have exceptional players in a lot of the key positions?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We have
But you did not know what the mix was going to be.
Right.
Because we had to change quarterbacks third game into the season.
Okay. Right.
And then
you have a tweak.
Yeah.
But they were deep.
Yeah, they were deep.
But they were deep.
Absolutely.
This team's deep.
Okay.
This team's deep from top to bottom. What about our freshmen, guys? Just talk about them.
There we go, coach.
The freshmen are good. Our JV, they're pretty good because of our freshmen. So we're not really worried about if we have substitutes for us because we know that if we have to come off the field, we have someone who will come and replace us and be just as good as we are. So the upperclassmen, we have to keep ourselves working and working harder and harder so we don't get replaced by a freshman. And
because that's got to be the worst feeling.
Yeah, and
in the world,
it is.
man.
Wow.
As a freshman,
As
a senior,
you come out and that freshman goes in your place.
and it will be the worst feeling because as a senior, you never want to be replaced by a freshman. Maybe a junior, but as freshmen,
but never a freshman.
Never a freshman, and that's how good our freshmen are.
Yeah. And I want to go over here to Brian, and ask him, how it was last year to this year, right? Fighting for a spot, finding your place where you're at now. Talk a little bit about that. He's our right back on defense, so talk a little bit about that. The competition, the struggles for players to find themselves.
I think how can I put this?
Just blurt it out there, man. We're not FCC worried about anything. Just stick it out there, babe.
So last year, I would play JV. I was first playing varsity, but I got dropped, and that was kind of like a wake up call, and so I'd try in JV and warm up with the varsity, and probably if we're winning like 5-0, they'd put me in, and I'd on how many minutes I get, I tried, and this summer I was training with Colton, and that really helped because now I'm a starter on varsity. So
yeah, at this point, let's give a shout out to Colton, my assistant, who is obviously the head coach over at Columbia State, the women's program there. What is his training called? What is the name of his training?
Colton's Way.
yeah. What is it? Premier Football.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
something like that.
Premier Football training. So,
Right.
He trains a lot of kids in this area in Columbia. He's a graduate. We know that. Been in the state tournament. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to him and his football club because, or his premier football club training for anybody that may be out there that wants just skills, basic skills, foot skills, honing in on it. I can see a difference in Brian. I see a difference in Aaron. I know Josue doesn't train with him, but he trains with his dad. Soccer's a sport that it's a touch sport. The ball's got to stay within your feet. You have to have your head up. You have to see 2 passes ahead. So it's really, really important to have those skills.
But you've also got to have that. How can I put this?
Spit it out.
One in desire. Thank you. One in desire to if you are cut like he was, and they cut him down to a different level. Instead of just saying, screw this, man, I'm out of here, to stick with it and become a better player.
Okay, well let's talk about this, right? Since we're on this show and there's people that are listening, and you guys know as well as I do, JV is not a punishment, right? JV is not a punishment in today's day and age. Would you agree that a lot of people look at that, Josue, Eder, that JV is a punishment?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I do from the coaching perspective. I see kids' heads drop. Oh man.
But it made him better.
It made him better.
Yeah.
Right. But he had to understand that, right?
And experience that.
Right. Experience that. But the thing is you really want your kids to come in and say, hey, I want to challenge to get a varsity spot. And the way that I want to challenge to get a varsity spot is I'm going to hone in on my JV. Wherever coach is going to put me on JV, that's where I'm. Waylon, what about your JV season last year, right? Talk about that a little bit.
It was a great season. We had very good varsity players as well last year, and not only this year. So it was very hard to work for a spot to get where you wanted. So I wanted to step down and do both and just have more touches on the ball so I could better myself when I was able to play.
So
varsity.
you wanted to step down.
I mean, I didn't want to sit there and not have any touches on the ball. So it was a self decision where when I do have the time to come in for varsity, I am on my stuff.
Right.
But last year, it was actually we had a great JV team. Went to where was it at?
JV tournament in Coffee County.
JV tournament in Coffee County.
You got to want to go to Coffee County.
Yeah.
You can't get there from here.
Hey, everybody that's listening to the show, just take your trailer, take your tent, stay for a night. You know,
you might as well go to Bonnaroo while you're down there.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I don't know when they're going to change this whole system.
Yeah.
And maybe because Battle Creek is coming in, the new high school, and then we have.
Well, you got Rockville too.
Right. I mean,
now they're staying in the Rutherford County.
I know, but I mean, I'm just saying there are schools that are closer that where they could go to the Rutherford County.
Well, Winchester, for God's sakes, that's down the middle of nowhere, man.
I know. So, oh my goodness, let's not talk about that because I get tired. Just talking about the trip, and so do these guys. But no,
it's a 2.5 hour bus trip.
I think that's the thing about JV. I think kids need to look at it differently.
Mm-hmm. It's a way to better yourself as a player.
It is. It's a way to prove yourself. You know, and I think Brian did a great job of that last year. In the beginning, it was, you know, I'm upset, but anybody's upset.
But what does it do? What do it do? Thank you. What does it do to a kid's psyche? Let's say he's a freshman. You see some talent. He gets brought up. Mm-hmm. Does he get brought up past junior varsity, into varsity, if he seems to be that good?
Well, I'll let these
guys.
And
then maybe have to drop back because he wasn't as good as we all thought he was.
Well, I think. Well, I'm gonna let's talk about Vic, right? What do we all think about Vic? Josue, what do you think about him? Freshman, came in. Tell us a little bit about him.
He's good.
What's good about him?
Good midfielder.
Okay.
He dribble good. He sees the plays. He can read the plays. He can think fast. So most midfielders, you know, you gotta think fast. Good feet. You know. He's really good.
And he's a freshman.
Yeah.
He's our starting attacking mid. So, is he going to digress? No, he's not. He came in and he's changed our dynamic, wouldn't you say?
He might be 4 feet, but he's a heck of a player.
Is that part of the new Sid? I'm just saying. Is that part of the new Sid?
No, it's not part of the new Sid. Let's ask them, right? And I'll tell them. I mean, you're in AAA soccer, guys, right? Tell the audience they're listening, right? You're in high school. What is your number one goal as a team?
To win state.
Go state.
Okay. So who's going to be on the field?
The best 11.
The best 11. Best 11. So I think if you realize that, and as a group, and I'm going to talk to Eder here about this because Eder has a role, right? He's a role player. Waylon is a role player. Okay. What do you say about being a role player on a team that you know? Hey, I want playing time. I want to be there. I'm a senior. What do you say about that?
Well, for me, it doesn't really matter for what position coach puts me in. Like, if any spot he puts me in, like, if I get like 2 minutes or something, like not as much minutes, I'll try to work hard so I can get more playing time and try to get like better. And you know, I'm trying to get more better in practices to train more and just give it my all so I can get more playing time.
Because you don't want to be pulled for that freshman.
Yeah.
Right. So we've established something here, and the fact that these guys, this one especially, doesn't want to be pulled for that freshman.
It's my Hispanic pride.
Get it? Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Let's go. How about Cameron? So we have a homeschooler. He starts at our outside left back. What do we think about Cameron? We're just talking freshmen right now.
Sure.
So we got 2 freshmen that start, and I'm going to talk about another one. But talk a little bit about Cameron.
He might be one of the fastest players we've had at Central. Yes.
Wow.
That dude can run forever. Yeah, he's good. He usually plays one of the right back and left back, one of those, right? And he's last year we had Siegel. We remember Siegel, right? He used to take the ball from the back of the field and just work his way up. And I personally thought there's no way we're gonna find another Seagull. And then Cameron comes and he's doing the exact same thing, and he can actually do it. He can dribble past all these defenders and midfielders and take it all the way to where we need to, cross it in, and we get. I mean, he's awesome.
But if he's that fast, is he that much faster than you guys that you can't catch up with him?
No, there's some players that can catch up with
okay.
him. Yes.
All right.
He scored in the Summit game too.
Cool.
Yeah, he did score in a summer game. Our freshmen have put Victor has scored. So has Cameron from a defensive position as well. So he actually took the ball all the way up. He overlapped, got the ball, got inside the 18, made a move, struck the ball, hit it in the opposite corner, and I think all of us went like this. And just like you said, we didn't think that we were going to struggle replacing a Seago. Because he was a senior. He did that. But we were fortunate enough to he kind of fell in place. I mean, I didn't even know about him. I mean, I knew about him, and he's a homeschooler. He did all the paperwork, and he can play, along with Aaron Farmer, who's a senior who was here. But we're just happy to have him, and he works hard. So, how about Brewer Wall? One more freshman.
That's okay.
One more freshman. Josue, Eder, Ryan.
I think for a bit against Spring Hill, he played really good. That he kind of woke up one of our varsity players because he came in, he was playing good. That he was playing too good that he just couldn't come out, in my opinion. And it really upset the other person that he got, like, he didn't get back in. But he played really good that game, and I think it was against, what team was it when he scored? Frank County.
Oh yeah.
He came off the bench
In the last 12 minutes, 10
and
minutes.
like most of our like starting 11 came out, and he completely destroyed them.
He scored like 2 goals, almost
Wow.
had a hat trick.
He was hungry.
He's hungry.
All right, but let me ask you this: is there a point in the game where you guys will see another player and just know he's gassed, he just can't go anymore, and you need to have him pulled? I know that's a tough question because, and you don't have to give any no names at all, but is there a point in time when you see a player that just can't perform? Or has it come to that point ever? Or y'all just conditioned enough to where you don't have to worry about it?
I think, as far as I can remember, I think that we've never had that problem. I mean, if a player has to get out, he himself says, okay, switch me out.
Yeah.
But I think as long as the 10 that are playing on the field want to keep going, they go through all that pain. They fight through it just to have more playing time. But yeah, I don't think we have that problem.
So basically, all you guys are looking at minutes.
Oh yes,
on the field.
Yes, all we're trying to do is get, like, if we really need to, that's when we say, okay, put someone else in. But I don't think we have that problem where we have to.
So your conditioning program is working.
Well, I mean, I think all of us, all these guys know that one of the things that we looked at in the last game of the season, I thought, not saying that we weren't conditioned, a team worked harder than us. And I believe that. When I look at that game, I just think, for some reason, we played our worst game at the wrong time. And that happens.
You peak at the wrong
sports.
time.
Yeah. And so we all know that that's where we need to get to, and I think these guys have worked hard. We're game time strong. We get to game time. We work. I think they're all bought in. And then, how we're talking about, like, playing time and being on JV and being a role player, I think that's what is good for championship teams because they're brothers. They know each other. They're going to compete. They want to play. Eder is competing for a position still. So is Waylon. It doesn't matter, right? They're today. Waylon was working his tail off. Eder was working his tail off. You know what I mean? Josue was. Alan was. Brian was. And when we split the teams, I split the teams up just recently, you know, we have some starters and we have some non-starters. We have some JV varsity players, and we split them up. And we have our attacking starters going against our defenders, and then it's a mix. But it's good. I mean, these 22 guys want to get to the promised land, right? And the promised land in any high school sport is to get to that state tournament.
And going back, and you referenced the 2010 state championship football team.
Right.
That was the one team that I do remember that could play a fifth quarter if needed and never put their hands on their hips. It was like, if you're going to bring it, bring it.
Yeah.
Then we'll go fifth quarter. Let's go.
And this is what we have. I mean, these guys, just like I said, you know, on Monday at practice, coming off our trip, or was it yesterday? Yesterday. Monday we had off because we played three games. So yesterday I just told them, I said, man, it's state tournament. Focus now.
Mm-hmm.
We're at midseason. We're in here talking about our season. And these guys have to, you know, dream big. So I'm excited for them. I'm excited for our upcoming games. And what do you guys think of just coming off? Let's just talk about this. Coming off of the Southern Coast Cup, guys. You know, let's talk a little bit about where we go from here. What's the focus? What have you guys been talking about? Because we don't know. I don't know as coaches. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I know that. What's the talk right now amongst you guys? The focus. What would you say?
Not to fall apart and to stay strong and stay motivated and focused for state.
Okay. What do you think, Alan?
I mean, it's just that we just gotta stay focused and not get big hits. Just keep going, and we score. No matter if we score 5-0, we still have to keep looking for that goal as if we're still 0-0.
What do you think, Josue? Right now, mid-season, what are you thinking? What are the guys talking about? What's?
They focused. They ready. You know, just you gotta put your mind into it.
Okay.
And, yeah.
What do you think, Eder?
I feel like we're getting there to like where we can, you know, our practices, we're getting it. We're practicing better, and we're working harder, and I feel like we're gonna be ready for state.
That's awesome.
Hard work pays.
Go ahead, Josue.
I said hard work pays later.
That's right. What do you think, Brian?
For me, I think that these teams that we're playing against that aren't very good will help us to get better and to be able to play the team that we tied against and Rossview that's coming up Friday and
that you challenged me to be at.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Dan. Is that? I mean, I'm telling you.
Hey, look, they threw the gauntlet down.
That's
I'm just
right.
saying, man.
That's right.
You know, I've got the schedule right here in front of me.
I got you.
That's what I was going for a minute ago. Like to tore my head off with my headphones. But you guys have got Rossview coming up Friday.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Then you've got Coffee County away on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
God, go to Coffee County. Then you got Lincoln County on Thursday, April 18th. That is also at Lindsey Nelson, but that's going to be a district game.
Yes. Both of them are coffee and
yep.
back-to-back district games next week. Yes.
Monday, April 22nd at Page.
Yes.
Friday, April 26th at Lincoln County.
But we just threw a game in because we makeup game is after Page. Page is only a varsity only. Okay. So that's Monday. So we play back-to-back nights. We play Monday at Page, and then we're going to Franklin County Tuesday night.
Man.
Yes.
Traveling.
Oh, man.
Bring your sleeping bags, boys.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, we don't want to do that, but unfortunately, that's the rain. That's what rain does.
That's right. Friday, April 26th will be Lincoln County. That is away. That's a district game.
So 3 games next week, or 2 weeks. 2 weeks from, next week we have 2. The following week we have 3 games.
Saturday, April 27th will be the JV tournament at home.
Yes, sir.
At Lindsey Nelson. Monday, April 29th, Laverne away. And Tuesday, some revenge on the road, hopefully, Shelbyville, and that'll be over there.
That's the last district game of the season.
It is, yeah. And then you got Thursday, May 2nd, Columbia Academy at home, which will be senior night.
Yes.
The regionals and the state, don't forget.
And then there's going to be
I love Jose. He's ready, baby.
district tournament May 8th through 12th. The regional tournament May 15th through 19th. Sub-state coming up the weekend of May 20th. And you'll be able to see the Columbia Lions in the state tournament week of May 22nd.
Yes, Dan.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on.
Hey.
Come on,
Hey,
Dan.
man.
That's my prediction right there. So there
That
you go.
is.
Sir.
That,
That's the prediction from the All the Ball Sports Show. If it doesn't come true, refer to the tape.
oh, that's good. Let's think about it. Talk about a little bit about your last year here, guys. I mean, we're seniors, especially. What that's like right now, and going through your mind. Alan, what do you think?
Last year we had a great season. We just what was it? Clarksville? Cookeville.
Very bumpy field.
Yeah, we just weren't. It's not that we weren't prepared. It's just they were more conditioned than we were. Every time we had the ball, they were right there every time. You couldn't do anything with the ball. We were forced back every single
wanted
time.
it more.
Yes, they wanted it more. We just didn't have that mindset of winning that game.
But now under the new Sid conditioning program,
Oh yes.
you guys are.
With the new Sid, we're gonna go for it. Yes. He calls it how it is.
I wouldn't say new Sid. I'll say a side of Sid we haven't seen.
Well, think about this though. Think about this, right? What is it like to be a senior? Like, though, talk a little bit about that, and knowing from, playing for Norman and being a freshman in your sophomore year, knowing that it's your last season as a Columbia Central Lion in this program. What has it meant to you?
As a freshman, Norman was the head coach back then. I played for him for 2 years, freshman, sophomore, and that's when I started playing JV and varsity, my freshman year. I started playing JV and varsity, and then sophomore years, I just started varsity only. Then Sid and Colton took over, and like I said, last year was a great year. We had it, and I don't know we just weren't in that mindset. And then as a senior this year, you just want to win it all. Your last year, you just got to give it all out there in the field.
Oh, my fault.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about that.
What do you think, Waylon?
I can. I played soccer with Alan and Eder since 6th grade at EA Cox.
Okay.
So we got a little bit of history all together. It's been a great soccer career. As a senior, you want to strive for greatness and do everything you can. And so when people look back, they remember that 2018, 2019 soccer team Lions.
Because for a lot of folks,
Right.
not yourself,
Right.
but I'm just saying for a lot of folks, that's the best they're ever going to do.
Right.
But you want to leave your high school career saying, I left it all out there at Lindsey Nelson.
Right.
And then we got the state ring to prove it.
Yes, sir.
There you go. See, that's how it works, man. The state ring for the 2010 football is up there on the shelf. I'm very proud of that.
You should be.
Yeah.
You should be.
Yeah.
I think it's one game at a time for us.
It is.
It is. I mean, we're definitely setting. We want to get to that state tournament. I
Right.
think we're hungry for that. I think that's that's the goal. Whatever comes our way, these boys are ready to go. Eder, what do you think about your senior season and your experience?
Well, for the years I've played for Central, I feel like I've been, ever since my freshman year, I feel like I've gotten better. I've improved every year. With my junior year, I went from varsity starter and I got dropped. I wasn't giving it all my all. And, I just tried to train harder, like this year. I try to train harder at practices to get more playing time. But I feel like Coach Colton teach me a lot and how to get better. And they always talk to me, and, on my position that I'm playing right now, which is sometimes right back, I feel like they're training me the right stuff for me to get better and get more playing time. And, it's my last year, and I feel like I need to give it my all before I leave and try to win state with the whole team.
No, you're not going to try to win state.
Well, we will win state.
There you go. It's a mindset thing, man. I'm telling you, I'm working you guys here, okay?
I can see that. No,
we don't try anything. We do.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I think me and Ed have kind of the same perspective because we're both seniors and we both fight for a position on the field. But I think each time that we do get onto the pitch and give a moment for us to work hard, that we both absolutely do.
And I think one of the things, like you said, that when you got dropped, that's your mindset right there saying, I got to reset, I got to do better in order for him to see it and for these guys to see it. Yeah. This is a heck of a team, Coach Sid. I'm telling you, buddy.
Well,
These guys.
Listen, let's understand that these boys. I said this before in our first go around with the group that we had. These guys play soccer all the time. 7v7. I'll talk about it this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. My girls are, in a 7v7 tournament, and who do I see off in the distance? It's not other girls' teams. It's my boys.
Mm-hmm.
Columbia Central boys and some of their friends, and they're playing soccer. Every night that we had the 7v7 tournament out at Ridley, there they were. So it's just like any place they can find, they're calling each other. They're finding a soccer ball. I had Aaron Farmer call me, during can I get the soccer balls? Can I take them? Can we go work out? I mean, it's just they're constantly they're hungry. They're hungry for that experience. They know what a district is about. They know what a region is about, and they know what sub-state's about. So,
and I'm glad to hear that because when you go back and you think about some of the great teams that Columbia Central had back in the late 90s and early 2000s,
yes,
the fact that one of the ladies who will remain nameless because I don't want to embarrass her or anything, used to go and do free throws 100 at a time every day.
Right.
After school.
Right.
If she didn't do 100, she didn't do any. And she did that every single day.
Right.
When it came down to tournament time, she's the one they don't want to foul.
That's right.
Because she's got the muscle memory. She nails free throws because that's all she does.
Right.
So I get it. I mean, they're getting the balls out there. They're practicing. They're practicing off time.
Right.
Where you're not around.
Well, you got varsity players staying for JV practices.
Yeah.
They're going down there and they're shooting if they have the time. And I'm going to tell you right now, kudos to some of these guys. Some of our players, they're working. They're working like they have jobs outside of this. They have school. They come play soccer, and they legitimately have to work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's awesome to see their love for this game and know that they have all kinds of other things that they're dealing with, or bills that they're paying, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because get a text message today from one of the players that I asked to be here, and he says, I got to be at work. Can you give me 3 weeks advance? So I've got to make sure, I give him a little bit more advance, so he can be here. And, that's kudos to our guys because they're still in shape. They come to practice and work hard. Some of them leave practice and they go to work. Mm-hmm. And they may leave practice and not shower. I don't know that story.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. They ain't funky right now, so they're fine.
Right. That's. And I'm not saying that they're special because there's a lot of teams out there that deal with those things. And but I think one of the things that we've all come together and worked hard at is making sure we communicate. Kids are communicating with players to let coaches know, or they're communicating with coaches to let us know, hey, I've got to do this.
The culture of the player now is totally different than it used to be.
It is. It is. And
you've got as a coach have to adapt to that.
Right, you do. You can't. You have to. Josue may have to take a family member or pick up his sister. take her somewhere, and he's running behind. As long as he communicates with me.
Or you may have to take a son and not get here until 5 minutes before.
Let's relay that where I had to take Carter Sydlowski home and get here 5 minutes till the show started. But these guys, man, Colt and I are privileged.
Well, there's a life ethic and there's a work ethic.
Yes,
and you're working with both of them.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And, parents or people that are listening in the community, I mean, it's kudos to these young men, JV and varsity, that deal with those kind of things and still get out there and perform at a high level. I know for me personally, and this isn't about me, but I didn't have to do that growing up. I had a job on the weekend, and I got to go to practice, and I got to take care of my homework, and I didn't have to work on Monday and then work on Wednesday and still go to practice and still have a paper due and still have to do all of my tests.
Man, you had a charmed life, dude.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just telling you.
No, but what you said, right? Let's go back to what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
If you look at, it's a different player.
It is.
It's a different athlete. So.
And that's the excuse I give for not being an athlete.
Right.
Was that I spent my time working my senior year.
Right.
I worked in radio locally, and I worked from 6 until midnight.
Yeah.
But went in at 4.
Well,
and that was 6 days a week, guys.
We had a player, right? We had a player this year, right? Who ended up leaving us.
And there's also another reason I didn't play sports.
Okay.
I have no talent.
Come on, man.
No, I'm serious, man. No.
Well,
I missed a layup in Pee Wee basketball, and I quit. I said, hey, if you blow that, it can't get any better from here.
we had Tinu, John Tan's brother. He ended up leaving us because work.
Yeah.
He's a senior and
got a new car.
Got a new car. And, yeah. I mean,
I ain't got to pay for that.
But back to the season, guys. What if you have a goal, right? All you guys, all 5 of you that are sitting here. What do you guys? What are your goals? Or what goals did you set for the season? Let everybody know.
Well, my personal goals would be to make the team better as a midfield. Me, especially midfield, I have to be able to find either my center backs when I'm pressured or keep the ball going up to Josue or Preston or Eric or anybody who's playing up there. And I took I made that personal goal for myself to become a better player on and off the field. Good sportsmanship on and off. And as a team, I think we can all agree we have that goal to get to state and win. Make soccer at Central a actual sport that matters. Because, football has their own locker, softball has their own locker, and soccer is just, I feel like they don't take soccer as seriously in Central as they do other sports. And we're trying to prove a point that soccer can do great things too,
I can feel that. I feel a little bit left out. I mean, not really, but you work hard and you'll get places in life. So.
You done?
Hey, you get state, man. You're gonna get respect.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I was just adding on to him. I didn't even start.
Okay, go ahead. Waylon,
My fault.
Hey, that's right. It's called team, okay?
Yeah. My goals are to. My goals are like what Alan said. Stay strong and focused and motivated. I want to leave everything I can out there on the pitch that I can. I guess you could say I'm the type of player where if you need some work to be done and a hard worker to put in the slot, then I'm there. I'm an aggressive player as well.
You want no regrets?
No.
Right.
No. I'm a very motivated player. Once I get on the pitch, I work my best and do everything to my abilities. So.
And if I'll come out Friday night, I'll see that.
And let me help you.
I'm just saying, man.
Hey, you ask these guys if Waylon's coming in and he's coming in to tackle. There's nothing soft about that tackle, right, guys?
Yeah.
Well, Sway, what's your comment? Goals and.
I'm trying to go to state too, so work hard, focus, put your mind into it, And there was a saying, one professional soccer player said that you gotta take every game as a final, you know. So you gotta put everything into it. So
Just
no
like
matter
at your
what game,
last.
no matter what game, you know, just everything, you know. And then work hard.
And well, for me, my goal, like as every single player in our varsity team and some JV players too that play with us, we all want to go to state and give it our all, you know. And one of my other goals was to train harder, which I've been doing, and I feel like I've been getting better every practice. And yeah, that'll be it.
And for me, it's to get better and to do as much as I can to help the team. And like what they said, us as a team, our goal is to make state and have that bit of respect that the school doesn't have on us.
Leave our mark.
You know, I think there's things, you know, they're saying the school, you know, CHS respects soccer, but there are things, you know, where we look at it and we say there could be things for every sport. You know what I mean? Right now, we don't have locker rooms really set aside for soccer programs and things like that. And, you know, it would be nice to have those things for our kids. And things are in motion, and they have been. They don't really know that, and I would totally agree, you know, with some of what they would like to do. They would like to go to that place, you know, where they have their own, you know, spot and put their bags there, and they can meet in there and maybe have some radio going and game prep, and maybe they put on their boots and they can walk kind of like the football players do down there. You know what I'm saying? They would like to have, you know, a little bit of that feel.
But I can tell you that all culminates from having a good booster organization too.
It does. Yes.
That's what we had back in the state era,
Yes.
2007,
Yes.
2008. Todd and Sandy Tate started that Lion Walk that we
Yes.
have, and it has kind of progressed to where it is now.
Yes.
But they started that, and we did it. Not only did they tailgate at the Lion Walk, they tailgated away from town too,
Yeah.
in away games. So
Yeah.
it takes a booster organization. It takes parents to get out there and do that.
Yeah, and there's some cool things that, you know, I'm going to talk to our parents about, you know, coming up here with districts, and, you know, we are going to have a district championship.
Good deal.
At Lindsey Nelson. We are going to have a region championship again at Lindsey Nelson, and we are going to have a sub-state championship
Good
at
deal.
Lindsey Nelson.
All right.
And then, you know, our all of their focuses are get to state.
Guys, thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you for
This
having us.
has been fun for an old man. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome.
They thrown down the gauntlet. I may have to come out there Friday night. We'll see. But anyway,
We hope to see you.
No problem.
Hey, we hope to see
Hey,
you.
we've got food in here, guys, so we're going to shut this thing down. For
All right.
everybody on the All the Ball Sports Show,
Let's get
have
it.
yourself yeah, let's get it.
Let's get it.
We are out of here.
Awesome. All right, guys.